Hey, art friends, especially my art friends out there that are afraid that AI is coming to steal your job and steal the joy away from making art. I've got really good news for you. It ain't. At least, maybe not yet. Well, maybe just a little bit, but it's okay. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. I want to talk about that AI topic today, especially since that mega drop happened this week through, what is it called? OpenAI. And everybody's stealing from Studio Ghibli now. Ugh. But I just want to reframe that a little bit for you and maybe ease your mind, calm things down just a little bit. Nobody jump off a bridge or hang up your pencils just yet. or ever. Don't do that. And I want to talk a little bit about why I've been away personally and how important it is as an artist and human being to take care of your mental health, including myself. And I'm going to talk about that in a couple minutes. So, hello, I'm the founder of Draw or Die, TJ Kaufman. I'm a cartoonist. I've been a cartoonist for almost 30 years now professionally. I've always had an inkling for sharing my knowledge with other creators over the years, and that's what Draw or Die is about, is keeping other artists and my art friends and even new artists friends encouraged on this journey. And I just want to say real quick, thank you to all the subscribers on the YouTube channel. While I was away, we surpassed 10,000 subscribers, and I'm just very grateful for that. If you're watching this and you dig the vibe, please subscribe. That's way better than saying like smash the like button or whatever. You don't have to do that. There's no smashing of like buttons here. Now, I want to keep this version pretty stripped down, barely any editing, because I might take this on the road with me a bit, and I just want to stay consistent and put out messages, different messages every week for artists that hopefully you find value in. And this is really for artists of any skill levels, whether you've been at this for a long time like me, or whether you're just picking up a pencil for maybe the first time and looking for some encouragement. Draw or Die really is for everyone, at least everybody that's drawing or into art. So today, let's dive into the topic of this new latest AI scare for artists. It's a pretty serious topic, actually. And I'm going to give you a little personal story that happened to me this week while that was going down on the day that it dropped. So this past week, we were in Minnesota for a comics offsite for the VeeFriends team. I work for VeeFriends for Gary Vee. If you don't know who Gary Vee is, he's very inspirational, big in marketing, always kind of sees the future. We're making a lot of comics at VeeFriends that are coming out very soon. I'm very excited about that. And so we were having this giant offsite where we are basically gathered, a pretty large group of us, about 10, and we were writing stories for future comics and doing like some ideation and sketching and really mapping out the future for the comics of that brand. But around Wednesday or so, in the middle of the week, was when that studio or that OpenAI drop happened, where it's basically now able to get a lot of things better than it used to. The AI wasn't so great with the fingers and the hands and the spelling, and now it's pretty on point. You can say, draw me as a Studio Ghibli character or whatever, or we can put VeeFriends in there, and it starts, making them pretty damn good. And at first I thought like, oh, that's very interesting. Like my brain doesn't just immediately think like, oh, that's hot trash or whatever, and we shouldn't do it. I'm always trying to innovate and stuff too. But my first thought, was that it was scary for the art friends that I know. I know that this topic came up before. I know the deep conversations I had with some people that were some artists that were saying like, I've been drawing for 10 years and why am I even bothering doing this anymore? And this has been my life. And so there's a lot of discounting of the feelings of artists out there. So as I was in that room and everybody was very excited and using AI to like whip up, all kinds of stuff, there was even like a little, I don't think anybody meant it on purpose or anything like that, but there was some comic book covers being made. Like, look, we can make these comic covers without, like, we don't need the whole thing. Like, we don't need the comic artists. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, there's 3 comic artists here on this team, but we don't really feel that way, that we're not replacing comic artists with AI or anything like that. But of course, companies and brands are going to want to get excited and try to figure out ways to scale this AI. That's where my caution would come, because it can feel a little bit scary, but my brain is just like, okay, so what are we going to do about it? As artists, are you going to sit around and cry about it? I think instead you should probably lean in. And by leaning in, I don't mean, and for all of you, the purists out there, I'm not saying that you have to use AI. Not at all. I'm saying that you have a couple choices here. One is you can be bitter and angry and post all over social media like, if you're using AI, I'm unfollowing you and all this crap. Or, being bitter and angry doesn't lead anywhere great, by the way. Just keep that in mind. People won't like you. And you're probably self-destructing your own ability to get work or even have people want to be around you. So try not to be bitter and angry. Instead, what you could is take the path of championing hand-drawn artwork, human artwork, by hand, pencil, Apple Pencil, whatever. Champion that from real human artists. And remind people in the kindest way, because you don't want to be shitting on people for using AI. I know it's very tempting. Believe me, I've been at this for a long time. It's very tempting to be like, what the fuck? You didn't draw that and you're all excited about it and you want to replace me? That's kind of like the reactionary thing. Don't react like that, because I've already seen the opposite aspect of this too, because we have quite a community of people all ages. There's some kids that are, taking their little drawings, and mom and dad, or maybe they're teaching their kids, and the kids are doing it. The kids are going to do this. They're going to put their drawings into GPT or whatever you call it, or whatever AI model or whatever. And it's going to spit out a really cool version of their artwork. And it's going to excite them as kids or young adults or even old adults. Like suddenly people feel creative and they think, wow, I created this, right? And the bitter, cynical artists here are going to say like, you didn't create that, blah, 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 right? It's like this clash. It doesn't need to be that way. I'd like to remind people that I believe that we are all created as creators, and you forget it because the world sucks and pushes you down. Like, you can't be creative. You got to stay within the lines. Oh, you've got tunnel vision, get a real job. All the things that artists have heard is still true. And it happened to those people as well. You were creative when you were a kid. It got suppressed, pushed down, made fun of, all that stuff. So, the silver lining here, forget all the, it's stealing my art, it's stealing all these things. I get all that. Trust me. I think there's a silver lining here of people who are, and forgive me, this is very raw, what I'm doing here. I'm not really editing this. I'm just speaking, shooting off the train of thought here. But the silver lining is that I believe the olds, or whatever we are, the original, the OGs, the hand-drawn artists, we should say to a kid or a young person who's excited about the thing that they just created in AIart, and tell them, now figure out how to get there yourself. How would you draw that? If you're really excited about art and creation, how would you do that with a pencil or colored pencils or paints or whatever medium you want to do? Because this is the thing about AI. AI models can't feel, right? They can't have that human connection like I'm talking to you now. There's going to be, I've already seen it. It's already existing. I've seen it just this past week. There are fake influencers that look like real fucking people. There might be, I am real though, I promise you. I promise. But it's whoa, it's mind blowing. But an AI has never gone through a messy divorce or a breakup or grieved for a loved one or had the joy of tasting joy or ice cream. AI can't sit with you and draw you a sketch card or shake your hand or buy you a beer, right? We've got that edge as human artists. I'm very optimistic about that because I believe that that's going to make hand-drawn and more human connection the future of art. And I don't want to see artists quit. I know it's scary, but you can't be afraid of that. So you have to be the one that's championing your own art by saying, not fighting and if you like AI, you suck. Just champion the fact that you're making art and just shut up and draw, You're probably making excuses as well, because you're afraid that your art's not good enough, or these AI things are going better, or you're not making money. I've heard it all. But just do it. Just draw every damn day, right? Have you drawn anything today? Or you've just sat around and complained about these things? Oh, look at that. I might as well not do that because this thing can do that faster than me. Fuck that. Just do it, you know? And for those out there, I know there's a lot of people that discount the seriousness of this. Oh, people aren't really going to kill themselves or whatever. Absolutely. Absolutely, they are. And they're planning on it because they've built their life around this, whatever it is, animators, storyboard artists, comic book artists, cartoonists, whatever. This has been their livelihoods or their life or the thing that they've been aspiring to all this time, and then poof, they feel like it's gone, right? So, a year ago, and I wrote this down. It's hard. It's hard for me to talk about, but a year ago, my friend in comics wrote the following in his suicide letter. He said, "I wasn't AI. I was a real human being. You chipped away little bits of my self-esteem all week until I was vaporized." That is some tough shit to read and understand. You get it? So if you're out there thinking that this isn't something that's affecting a lot of people in a lot of dark ways, you're wrong, because it is. And I know those people, and I talk to them now. And you might be somebody that's watching this, thinking about that. By the way, he also said he's going to come back and haunt you dorks, and I sure hope that he is. But man, I didn't want to take that dark turn there, but even though everybody's circumstances are different, I know many artists out there are feeling vaporized right now. And you know what I say to that? Fuck that. Keep drawing. Life is just a series of these challenges. And that's how it is. That's how it goes. AI is never going to experience that sweet creative zone. That 20 minutes. It takes about 20 minutes to get there. And then you just you're in it. You're drawing, you're in your lines, you're losing track of time. Problems and worries just kind of melt away. I call it the zone. People call it the flow state. AI's never going to feel that. People that are just pumping their prompts into AI are never going to feel that. So you want to be the one that's championing that. You get it? So my belief is 5 to 10 years from now, when this all shakes out, I believe that the living artist, your personality, your soul is going to shine through all that. And you need to lean into it. You need to lean into learning your drawing skills, drawing by hand, drawing in front of people, doing live streaming, live drawing, like just being able to go up to a whiteboard and just, draw something. It is a performance. It is that. We will be performers, whether we're doing it in front of people or through a downshot live stream or not showing your face. That's the future of it. You really need to get with it, with that, right? You just got to get to it. This is really the way that you beat the robots because they don't have a soul and a connection. You got it? And either way, please, please, please take care of your mental health. I've been gone a while. I've been kind of quiet this year. Last year was the best and the worst for me. I got my dream job with Gary Vee and the V Friends, but I had deaths all around me. I had a lot of friends die. I had a lot of family die, capped with my father passing away in December. And it was really making me just rethink everything. It's just part of grief when people close to you kind of leave and you're like, what does all this mean? What the hell am I doing? All those things. What was any of this for? Where are we going? What is all this? What is this journey, right? I started thinking about, consciousness and who we really are, right? And then around sometime in January, David Lynch passed away, Twin Peaks, all that stuff. He had a lot of content out there about Transcendental Meditation. So I was getting served all this stuff, the algorithms, the mighty algorithms were like, oh, this guy's going through some grief. Let's send him some stuff about, your soul just keeps going and all this stuff. And it was very interesting because I'm also using that as inspiration for story and for all kinds of things to make me a better storyteller and an artist. So I thought, well, I'm watching all this stuff and my wife's like, you should go learn Transcendental Meditation. And I was like, that's too expensive. I don't want to go learn. And she basically said, no, you're doing it. Happy birthday. And I went, I learned it, and it worked. I really had to quiet all of my own thoughts, right? And my own shadow self. We talk about that in the old newsletter. And it worked. February 7th, since February 7th, I've been doing the TM twice a day. It's super easy. It's everything they said that it would be. It's super easy. I've done it on airplanes and in taxis and at the airport and traveling all around. I can do it anywhere. And it works. And the only way that I can really describe it personally would be that zone that I talked about that takes usually 20 minutes or so to get there when you're working, it stays with you after you've done that meditation, at least for me. So I know this will be different for everybody. Something that works for me is not good. Maybe it won't work for you, but I think it will. There's a lot of proof to that. But if you're interested, tm.org if you're interested. But you got to go do the thing. And if you're poor and you can't, if you're like, I'm poor, I can't afford to do this, because you like put your income in there and it gives you different rates. It's all nonprofit. So I actually believe if you were to say in the form, hey, $0 and I'm an artist, they actually have some good, what we call, what was it? What do they call it? Oh, scholarships. They actually have some like scholarships that people will donate money to the local offices, and then they pay for people like first responders, military vets, people with PTSD and things like that. So you can get the training for free too if you really want to. We chose to pay for it because we want to support good things like that are supporting good causes. So, and listen, nobody's asking you to join a cult or anything like that. And again, what works for me might not work for you, but I just want to encourage everybody out there to keep going. Keep drawing. If you're going through hell, you got to keep on going, right? So keep drawing. Don't stop. Draw every damn day. You know what to do. Deep down, you know what to do. Does any of that resonate with you? Drop a comment. Let me know, or email me if you want to talk to me directly at dj@draworddieclub.com, draworddieclub.com, dj@draworddieclub.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll see you again real soon. Thanks for listening. Draw or Die.